If I was the GM for the Baltimore Ravens and Buffalo Bills, I would trade Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson today. Let me tell you why. Now, we're going to get into who I would trade them for later in the video. I'm not trading them for each other, if that's what you guys are thinking. I will trade them. I will tell you who I'm going to trade them for later in the video. Both quarterbacks in 2018 were drafted in 2018. Very talented. Both have won an MVP. Both have showed that they can be the splashiest, most talented, everything. They're great. The issue with both these quarterbacks is they've been in the league for a while now, 7 years. They both have been on a rookie contract for 4.5. And it's just like 0 Super Bowls, 0 Super Bowl appearances for either one of them. If you can't get it done on a rookie contract when you're cheap, when your salary cap hit is low, and they both have played for multiple years on their contract with their cap hit being high, it's like, at what point are you going to get the job done? And I was referencing the cap hit. I'll tell you the cap percentage. The actual salary doesn't matter because every season guys are getting paid more and more. The salary cap goes up. So the actual number doesn't matter. It's not like a quarterback can't make $50 million and win a Super Bowl. It just depends on what percentage of the cap they're taking up. The NFL is not like the MLB. You can only spend so much money. Lamar Jackson, over the next 3 seasons, his average cap hit is 20.63, so just over a fifth. Josh Allen's is 15.69. Sounds high. For reference, the last 12 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, their cap hit is 8.99. That is the average for the last 12 Super Bowl winners. And we're going to get into 2 of them really being exceptions, and the actual number is 6.75. We'll get into all that. The last Super Bowl winner, we'll go one by one. The last Super Bowl winner is Jalen Hurts at 5.3. This is the crowning argument for this debate on why Jackson and Allen should be traded. Jalen Hurts on a rookie contract, and it's the extension, etc. I understand that these quarterbacks, they're on a rookie contract for 4 years. Then they get kind of that 5th year where it's semi-cheap, but not really. Anyways, Jalen Hurts is on a cheap contract. They were able to sign Saquon Barkley. They were able to trade for A.J. Brown and keep him around. They were able to keep this offensive line. They were able to sign Zach Bond. They're able to get these. They have the juggernaut of all juggernaut teams. And Jalen Hurts, who is not an elite quarterback, is able to win a Super Bowl. 2023, it's Mahomes. 2022, it's Mahomes. 16.5 and 17.1. We're going to touch on him at the end, so just bookmark that for now. 2021 was Matthew Stafford, slightly above the average of 8.99 at 10.6, but nowhere near the 15.69 or 20.63 that Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are going to be at. Able to keep Aaron Donald, able to keep Cooper Kupp. I mean, that was an excellent team. Jalen Ramsey, etc. The only reason you're able to do that is because the salary cap for him is not double in what it would be for Lamar Jackson. The year before that was Tom Brady at 12.6. On the steeper end, when you exclude Mahomes, that is the highest Super Bowl winner cap hit. Tom Brady makes up for a lot of holes. Not much to say there. 2019, Patrick Mahomes on the rookie contract at 2.3. You had Tyreek Hill, Chris Jones, Kelsey, etc. That team was excellent. Tom Brady at 12.4. Once again, these are the 2 highest cap hits when you exclude Mahomes. Tom Brady makes up a lot of holes, but still, once again, 12.4 is well under Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen's average. Nick Foles, 2017, at 0.9, and Carson Wentz at 0.4. Whoever you want to pick. I mean, I know Carson Wentz led them there, but Nick Foles ended up winning the Super Bowl. It kind of proves the point that you can have the backup quarterback win a Super Bowl because the team is spending less than 1%. Well, when you include both quarterbacks, it's 1.3, but regardless. When you're spending so little on the quarterbacks, you're able to have an amazing roster around them. That great defensive line ended up getting the strip on Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady in 2015 at 8.8, right around the average. Peyton Manning in 2014 at 12.12. Tom Brady in 2013 at 11.11. Russell Wilson in 2012 at 0.5. That amazing defense, very similar to Hurts, but even better defense. I mean, that Legion Boom was crazy. And then Joe Flacco in 2011 at 6.6. Overall, you can see all these guys are pretty much at 12 or below. Mahomes' 2 years we'll talk about now at 16.5 and 17.1. Those are, on around where Jackson and Allen are going to be at. The reason why I think Patrick Mahomes is different is he has won 3 Super Bowls, 2 of which were with this inflated salary cap number, and he's lost, 2 other Super Bowls. He has proven that regardless of his salary cap, whether it's low, whether it's high, whether he's got Tyreek, whether he doesn't, he's going to be all right. Tom Brady in kind of that same realm. Now, he was at 12, 12, 8, and then 11, so he is still a good bit below. He'd be at about 10.5 average. He's still a good bit below Jackson Allen, but even Tom Brady being in the double digits to low double digits in terms of percentage of the cap hit, he still is significantly lower. And Tom Brady has proven that he is a different level quarterback. He is the elite of the elite, the best of all time, and Mahomes is on his way to doing that. Now that we got that out of the way, and it's kind of like we can see that, you need to be below 10. If you're not below 10, you better be one of the greats of all time. Now, I had said I was going to trade these quarterbacks, and you might say, okay, well, to who? Because that matters. Here's the trade that I would propose. Now, I would have probably done it in 2024. Better draft class, more quarterbacks to choose from. Regardless, before the 2025 draft, which has already happened, and the Titans took Cam Ward, as a Ravens fan, I'm a Ravens fan personally, but as the Ravens GM or the Bills GM, I would have gotten on the phone with the Tennessee Titans. I would have called them and said, I will give you Lamar Jackson for the number 1 overall pick in this draft, your 2026 first, second, and third, and your 2027 first, second, and third, as well as Treylon Burks. Just, sprinkle a little bit on to keep Treylon Burks with a new team. You would get Cam Ward, obviously, because there's not another quarterback to draft. So it would be Cam Ward. You'd have the first through third round picks in 26 and 27 of the Titans, and you would send them Lamar. I believe the Titans would take you up on that offer. Same thing with the Bears in 2024. Now, the Bears would probably not give up as much because Caleb Williams was a generational prospect. So maybe you just get Williams and then it would be a 2025 first. And that's a different discussion. But for this, you get 3 firsts, 2 seconds, and 2 thirds, as well as the number 1 overall pick. Here are the 3 options for this. So you get the cheap rookie contract. You get Cam Ward on the rookie contract, which is going to be a low cap hit. And you get that 4.5-year window. I keep saying 4.5 because the franchise tag, and you can actually franchise tag them twice, but the first franchise tag is kind of cheap-ish. The second one's crazy, but the first one, it's like you're not really being the highest paid quarterback, but you're up there for sure. So anyways, you get 4.5 years to sign any free agent you want, essentially, like what the Eagles did, what the Seahawks did, both Eagles teams with Foles and then Hurts. So you get more room to sign free agents because you just went from 20% cap hit to 2% cap hit. So you can sign a lot of players to help Cam Ward out. And here are the options on what really could happen over that 5-year window. Number 1, Cam Ward is better than Josh Allen and or Lamar Jackson, and he's cheaper, and he's younger. That's the triple crown. Obviously, that's ideal. Is it likely to happen? Probably not. Option 2, Cam Ward is slightly worse. So if we're going to say Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen are top 5 quarterbacks, Cam Ward is a top 15. He's in that 10 to 15 range. He's good. He's not great. But because of the extra draft capital, as well as the extra free agents that you can sign, the team ends up being comparable. So roughly the same teams. The Bills and Ravens have a better quarterback, a worse supporting cast. The Titans, it'd be the opposite, because you're taking Cam Ward. But the Ravens have the better supporting cast and Cam Ward, and the Titans have Lamar Jackson with the worst supporting cast. And the teams end up being about even. Maybe one of them makes it to the Super Bowl. Neither probably win it. And then option 3. But option 2 is still better than keeping Allen or Jackson because you get the gamble of the upside and you have a lot more freedom. When you're tied to that high-paid quarterback, you don't have much roster freedom. You're not going to be drafting early because the team's never going to stink. And then option 3 might end up actually being better than option 2. It just kind of depends. Option 3 is Cam Ward is not a starting caliber quarterback, and you end up getting a high draft pick and trying again. Now, some of you, option 2 you can debate, if both teams are about even, what's better? Would you rather have 11 and 6 Josh Allen team or an 11-6 Cam Ward team. Probably doesn't really matter that much for option 2. Option 3, where Cam Ward sucks, I would honestly say it's the second most preferable situation. Hear me out. So after 2 seasons, you move off him. Maybe you trade him for a 5th-round pick, whatever. You cut him, and you have all that draft capital. So now you're drafting high again. Top 5 if he sucks, and you have like 3. You've got the number 1 overall pick, and then you've got the other draft capital that you've gotten in the trade, and you've got so much flexibility. That's the key thing here, is the flexibility, because if you miss on Cam Ward, you just draft high again, and then you get that 5-year quarterback window again with the additional draft capital, with the opportunity to sign free agents. If you whiff on Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, and you're wrong, if those guys cannot lead you to a Super Bowl with worse and worse teams because they take up so much of the salary cap, that's a big miss. That sets your team back 4 or 5 years, because you can't sign good free agents. You can't get rid of them because you can't cut them. So you're stuck in like a Dak Prescott situation where he's one of the highest paid guys. He's not good enough to get you to a Super Bowl, which is obvious, which, soon Lamar and Josh Allen could be in that Dak Prescott camp where they're more talented than him, but it's like, you can't get it done. You're a good quarterback, but it's like, you can't get it done. But the Cowboys can't get rid of Dak. And even if they did get rid of Dak, they wouldn't be drafting high enough to get a replacement, and then they also don't have this additional draft capital via trading Dak when they could have traded him earlier. So I honestly think in really 2 out of 3 scenarios, and possibly 3 out of 3 scenarios, whether he's excellent, whether he's good, or whether he's bad, you win. And even if you lose, it's better to lose and then just start over and to not be kind of tied to that quarterback. If you miss a draft pick, it's whatever, because the negative of missing a draft pick is you're high again. The negative of missing on Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson is you're just done. Your franchise is toast. So that's my thoughts. It's a hot take. As a Ravens fan, I probably generally wouldn't be happy to get rid of Lamar, but I think from a pure winning standpoint, do you want to maximize your chance of winning a Super Bowl as well as maximize your chance of winning a future Super Bowl? I think Cam Ward would do it. I think this Titans trade would make sense.